Welcome to the evening show. I'm Chris, your host, where we're going to cover Disney and some entertainment news. If you're not familiar with this show, I used to do it in the morning. It was called the Good Morning Show. Now it's called the Evening Show. It's on at 8:15 Monday through Fridays, where I'm going to try and give out as much news as I possibly can. Let me turn that off so it doesn't affect us. I want to welcome in Jeffrey and Rachel into the chat. There's Candy Mom. Thanks for coming in. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let's get started. We got some news to give out. All right. So our first comes from Walt Disney World News Today. And it's Walt Disney World annual pass holders can purchase individual tickets to obtain additional theme park reservations. Amount paid to be used towards future renewal. So, if you're an annual pass holder who had trouble securing Disney Park Pass reservations due to limited capacity and availability, guest relations pass members have indicated a workaround so current pass holders can still obtain theme park reservations, even then if they're in a low supply on the park pass availability. Thanks, Candy Mom. Annual pass holders looking to dip into the current Disney Park Pass availability reserved for guests with theme park tickets are being given the option to purchase single or multi-day tickets and have that value applied towards the purchase, upgrade, or renewal of an annual pass. Do note that this is not exclusive to pass holders, as guests have always been able to use refunds on tickets towards upgrades. There is no limit on ticket purchases. You can purchase, for example, 3 one-day tickets and apply all that towards a renewal or new pass. However, there are some practical limitations, as any leftover funds that surpass the cost of renewal cannot be saved and used for later. It was stressed to us by the cast members that if you do decide to go this route, it's important to tell the cast member who is assisting you at either guest relations or ticket sales that you intend on using those funds towards an upgrade or renewal, so a note can be made on the account and transaction. So I guess, this gives this is crazy. I guess this is giving you, if you have an annual pass and you're not able to get in because all the annual pass day or reservations are gone, giving you the chance to actually get a reservation through the individual ticket reservations. But it looks like you can actually, but then again, you can use it towards your annual pass for your renewal. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I'm not an annual pass holder, but I guess it's an option. So all right, let's go on. Let's see. All right, we got a little bit of Star Wars news. All right, I don't know if anybody there is a fan of the Clone Wars, the animated series, but in this last series, they had a group called the Bad Batch, and it says Star Wars: The Bad Batch, an all-new animated series to debut on Disney Plus in 2021. So they're taking this group that was in the Clone Wars and they're going to give them their own. Today, Disney Plus ordered its next animated series from Lucasfilm, Star Wars: The Bad Batch, fresh off the critically acclaimed series finale of the Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The Disney Plus original series will premiere on the streaming service in 2021. The series follows the elite and experimental clones of the Bad Batch, first introduced in the Clone Wars, as they find their way into rapidly changing galaxies in the immediate aftermath of the Clone Wars. Members of the Bad Batch, a unique squad of clones who vary genetically from their brothers in a clone army, each possessing a singular exceptional skill, which makes them extraordinarily effective soldiers and a formidable crew. In the post-Clone War era, they will take on daring mercenary missions as they struggle to stay afloat and find them new purposes. Are you, Candy Mom, you're a pass holder? Okay, you're not going to buy any extra tickets. Hey, Gonzo. Is it 9? No, it's not 9 a.m. This is the evening show. The good morning show has gone away. So, yeah, yeah. I love this idea of them taking a group that was called the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars, and they're giving them their own animated series now on Disney Plus starting next year. And I think even though the prequels they get a lot of criticism, the Clone Wars, the animated series, did really well. So I think maybe they could ride out. Oh, for annual pass holders, you can buy tickets, and I think they can go towards your renewal. But yeah, yeah, they. This is what I think is really think. I think what it. I'm sorry, Gonzo. I'm kind of in between two things. I'll explain real quick. What they're saying is, if for some reason you can't get a reservation because of being a pass holder through that, all the pass holder reservations are gone, that you can buy an actual 1 day ticket and get into the reservation through buying what's left of the 1 day ticket reservations. And then if you buy that, you want to let them know that you're putting that towards a renewal on your pass holder. So I think what it is it bumps it out, or yeah, I believe that's what it is from the way I understood. So back to this. So yeah, the Bad Batch, they were pretty. I liked them. They were an amazing group, and I think it's just neat that they would ride this wave of the popularity of the Star Wars clone series. Thanks, Gonzo. That they would put this in there, and I think it'll be something that'll be really big, and I can't wait to see it myself. I really love the Clone series, the Clone Wars series. All right, here we got. This comes from Game Rants. All right, it's Pirates of the Caribbean jewelry removed amid controversy. A collector site known as WorthPoint has removed a piece of controversial Pirates of the Caribbean jewelry in the shape of a noose from its site. Since the end of May, with the push of the Black Lives Matter movement, it seems like more and more companies are starting to be held accountable for actions that would be widely considered racist and insensitive. For example, Twitch recently received heavy backlash following a tone-deaf Black Lives Matter video that centered, confusingly enough, around white content creators. Now Disney is receiving similar backlash for a seemingly insensitive product it sold not this year but 14 years ago. The Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is no stranger to controversy these days following the accusations of domestic abuse by ex-wife Amber Heard. Disney made the decision to remove Johnny Depp from the upcoming movie. Since then, many fans have speculated whether or not Jack Sparrow will have any reference or involvement with the franchise going forward. So, I guess to me, I don't see how a noose can be racist. I don't know how I can go into that. The noose was used as a way for justice through the Old West. I know it was used before that time and everything else. It was not used exclusively to execute people of color. So I don't understand how you can say that one thing is racist, because it has a history of the past of not knowing any color when it came to executions. So I guess I don't understand it. I don't know if it has to do with maybe the stuff of what was going on with people stating, things about nooses, but which actually turned out to be not even true. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, how far are we gonna go on this? I mean, because there could be lots of things that could be taken away from us. I think we need to start to pull that idea of racism back into what the actual definition of it is, because it seems all they've done is expanded it, and once you expand it, it becomes to the point where it has no real meaning. But they've done this before with other terms like that as well. I don't mean to get political on you. I didn't mean to do that. So let's see. PS5 price and pre-order could go live today. Here's what we know. Comes from Tom's Guides. All right. Let's see. While Amazon PS5 pre-order page went live earlier today, there's still no option to buy the console, nor is there any price or release dates listed as of Monday evening. We'll update this page, and should anything change regarding the status of the PS5 pre-orders, the PS5's price and release dates are still a mystery, but we could learn them before both the end of the day. If you take semi-reliable leakers on Twitter seriously, two prominent PS5 predictors have pegged pre-orders to begin today, July 13th, but there's no real evidence beyond their say-so. It's not possible, but there's no evidence that Sony plans to share its PS5 plan just yet. Information comes from our sister site, which gathers tweets from PS5 leakers on Twitter, Iron Man PS5, and Roberto Serrana. The former is a popular PlayStation fan. The latter is an Italian analyst. Both of them have somewhat accurately called the dates, times of PlayStation events in the past, although they've also both been wrong, especially when it comes to PS5 prices and release dates revealed. So yeah, I think it's been kind of up in the air about what the PS5 is going to cost. We reported one day when Gonzo was on here that they were talking about it was going to be like, I think it was like $740. But then the next day they came out with something new stating that the one that would just be digital, no disc drive, it was going to be $399, where the one with the disc drive was going to be $499. So, and I'm sure it's different depending on what kind of memory you get on it and everything like that. All right, more Star Wars, just real quick. We got a lot of Disney news to cover today too, so I'm just going to go through some of this stuff. The Rise of Skywalker was a controversial conclusion to Star Wars, and here's how fans would change it if they could. Jibing. Number 10, jibing? I don't know. What made original trilogy hero Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, and Han Solo so special was their willingness to support each other, despite the huge threat of the Empire. While the trio would sometimes have some pretty squabbles, arguments were always put aside immediately for greater good. Okay, so that's what they meant. I've never heard of jibing. I don't know. Or jibbing. The Knights of Ren. Shortly before The Force Awakens, Disney teased a mysterious group of cool-looking characters named the Knights of Ren. It looked like they have something to do with new villain Kylo Ren, but they didn't appear and were then overlooked on The Last Jedi. That's true. They completely just glazed over him, and then when they did bring him into The Rise of Skywalker, nobody still understood what they were, except for they were followers of Kylo Ren, or how they came together, or anything like that. I wish they would have put like some kind of origin to them, but it doesn't seem like that's what they've done. Number 8, give Palpatine an explanation. All right. At first, it was thrilling when it was revealed Emperor Palpatine would be returning from the dead for the final movie of the Skywalker saga. It was a little, admittedly, bizarre and slightly insulting to Return of the Jedi, but there was a belief that Disney would come up with a sufficient explanation. All right, so there was no explanation in the movie, but there was a book put out afterwards. It was the adaptation, and it kind of goes further into the whole thing about Palpatine. It's really interesting. So, I mean, I don't want to give it away for anybody who might read the book, because it still hasn't been out for very long. Number 7, or Kimchi Me. The Rise of Skywalker was rather a nostalgic affair. There was a brand new desert planet in the form of Kasana, which was an obvious throwback to Tatooine and Jakku that had come before, but Jimmy should have gotten some time in the spotlight or moonlight instead. Oh yeah. I completely agree with you, Candy Mom. I think there is so much more that could have been done with the first 3 as well. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't bug me. I think Star Wars has too many desert planets. I like to see something different. And hey VP, how you doing? And kind of when they went to Jakku, I'm like, This is just like the original. That's what it was to me. So, all right. So what were we at? We're at 6. All right. Force healing. While on Pisana, Rey comes face to face with a sandworm when she sees the creature is injured. However, she uses a new power never seen on the big screen before, force healing. I think what it is they're wanting more of an explanation of force healing. I'm kind of hearing stuff about that, about force healing and everything like that. And here's the thing. It kind of goes back to the original, the first 3, not the originals, but the prequels of that. The whole thing was the Jedi actually lost their connection to the Force. They could still use it and everything like that, but they had lost somewhat of a connection that really made them whole. And one of the reasons why some of them didn't like Anakin Skywalker is because he still had that connection. So I'm wondering if the reason why they couldn't do the healing back at that time, I mean, I believe at one time they may have been able to do it, but somehow they lost some connection to the Force, because they actually were going in a direction that wasn't intended for the Jedi to go into. Right, General Hux's death is number 5. General Hux was one of the most impressive characters in The Force Awakens, with the First Order Supremo compared to Grand Moff Tarkin in the aftermath of the blockbuster release. He regressed in The Last Jedi, though, being thrown around like a toy by Supreme Leader Snoke and being force choked by Kylo Ren. That's true. I think General Hux, he should have had a bigger role. I think, him being the traitor, that was something great. But I really didn't see General Hux. They actually made him look very weak. And the thing was in Empire, if, Vader just killed him. That was it. So Kylo Ren and Snoke are looking weak compared to what Vader was. Vader would kill admirals left and right when he got angry with them. So, I mean, to me, Hux should have been like Grand Moff Tarkin. I really believe that. Hux should have been above Kylo Ren before Snoke had died. But, yeah, I think that's what they should have done. And I think General Hux was a great... Yeah, yes, Candy Mom, he did look weak. I thought he was a great character. I really did. I thought it was funny at the beginning of The Last Jedi, the whole thing with Poe Dameron joking with him and everything like that. But that seemed like comedy that didn't really belong in Star Wars. It felt like something they were trying to pull from Marvel, that kind of comedy. And I think they could have done without it. So let's see. Let's get to number 4, Finn's Secret. Okay. One of the early trailers for TFA showed John Boyega's Finn wielding the famous Skywalker lightsaber in the woods of the Starkiller base. This led to many thinking he'd go on to become a Jedi. However, after the fight with Kylo Ren, he never picks up the iconic weapon. Through the Rise of Skywalker, it's heavily implied that he, like Rey, is force sensitive, but much like the Palpatine thing, this is something that should have been clarified for the audience. He doesn't tell anybody about it, even when quizzed by the likes of Poe Dameron and Jannah, and the film concludes with nobody getting the answer they wanted. That's true. I felt like that was something that should have been put out there. Yeah, it did turn out that Finn is force sensitive. But just because you're force sensitive doesn't mean that you'll become a Jedi type. There's all kinds that were in the Star Wars universe that were force sensitive. Maz Kanata is force sensitive. All right, but she's not so force sensitive that she can become a Jedi. But yeah, even after the movie, I'm thinking, what was his secret? And it wasn't until later on that I'd seen it again that I realized that he was force sensitive. Obviously, him realizing where everything was and what he needed to take out. Number 3, more Force Ghosts. It was great to see Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher appear as Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa in the final chapter of the story, but Disney should have upped the ante considerably. I I believe that. I do. I think that ending, and I'm not talking about the part where Luke and Leia show up as Force Ghosts, but right there when Rey is against Palpatine and they show all the Sith that are sitting around and chanting and everything like that. I feel like when she heard their voices, when she heard the Jedi speak to her and she got up, I think those Force Ghosts should have popped up behind her. And I think that would have been made that even of a more stronger scene if you would have had like Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Samuel L. Jackson, Yoda, all of them, Qui-Gon Jinn, all of them popping up behind her as they're like there to support her. I think that would have made that scene stronger, and I think more people would have walked away satisfied just with that scene being that way. So let's see. I think they really missed their chance. All right, number 2, Ben Solo's death. For a brief moment at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, it looked as if all would end happily ever after. Ben Solo brought Rey back from the dead, and the duo shared a kiss, pleasing Reylo fans across the world in the process. However, in a devastating twist, Ben then dies. He had to suffer some punishment for his previous crimes, but killing him has proven to be a contentious decision with many fans up in arms. There have been rumors about a possible return similar to what happened with Darth Maul, but the villain turned hero is gone for good as things stand. I don't know how, I want to say that he held on, and I believe he held on and had the strength that he had, and he had more strength because I think because of Leia still being there, that force was of positivity was flowing through him through his mother as well, and I think that's what pushed him on, and he was doing things that he shouldn't have been able to do with all the damages he's attacking. Now, yeah, if he would have survived, he would have had to be punished for everything he'd done, and punishment may have been death for what he'd done. I mean, you got to think about it. He was on the side that destroyed 5 planets. So that's a lot of deaths. So, all right, we'll get to number 1 and then we'll get over to our Disney news. All right, number 1, a meaningful sacrifice. While Ben Solo probably should have been spared, Disney should have killed off or changed at least one character just to give the movie more emotional weight rather than just nostalgia. They had their chance. Chewbacca looked to be gone, but the Wookiee survived. C-3PO had lost all of his memory for a second time, but that too was reversed. And Rey appeared to die in her attempt to stop Emperor Palpatine on Exegol. Unfortunately, they settled for only Kylo Ren's death, despite him being arguably the best character of the sequel trilogy. All right, so you want to... We're talking about trading that of a classic character that everybody loves for Kylo Ren, who's a character we've only known for the last three movies. I understand he's Han and Leia's son and Luke's nephew, but haven't they already killed off enough of their original characters? Why kill off more? I mean, I really thought C-3PO was done from the trailer. I did, and it hit me when I thought C-3PO was going to be gone. Right. So, and then Chewbacca, they're not going to kill him off again. And I know you're wondering, what do I mean, kill him off again? So the books have been considered legend. They're not canon. They killed Chewbacca off in the books. And they did it in a way that was really, really honorable for Chewie. So I was really happy to see that they weren't somewhat following the book so Chewbacca could be in the movie. Because had they done that, Chewie would not have been there. And Chewbacca is one of my favorite characters, and I don't want to see him die off, especially on the big screen. In a book, that's one thing, all right? I can read it. I'm not telling you it didn't get emotional to me when they killed him off. But seeing it on the big screen, that'd be even worse. So I don't think I'd want to see that. All right, let's go ahead and jump in to some of the news we have. I've already talked about the annual pass holder news for Disney, but let's get into some other stuff. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? All right. Okay, here we go. All right, and most of this I'm going to be readings come from WDW News Today. So, update: Walt Disney World face shield policy effective tomorrow, July 14th. Guests must provide own face shields. So, in a post earlier today, we were informed that guests who could not wear a face mask, who requested an alternative accommodation, could be provided a face shield. While initially it was believed Disney would provide the face shield, guests must now bring their own if opting in. The face shield policy will go into effect tomorrow, July 14th. Walt Disney World is currently requiring face masks for all guests visiting the theme park, but like Universal Studios, Disney will soon allow guests to wear face shields if they are unable to wear the mask all day and request accommodations. Guests with disabilities who are unable to wear a mask may wear a face shield. Further details, like whether they will need to visit guest relations for additional clearance. Universal uses a wristband system for guests who opt for face shields. Is still unknown. Either a face mask or a face shield is required to be worn at all times in the park. Many cast members are already required to wear face masks and face shields. That's true. If you see a cast member wearing a face shield and a face mask, they're wearing both, it's because they're working within a situation where they can't be 6 feet away. So yeah, so if you're gonna wear a face shield, you're gonna have to bring your own. Disney's not gonna provide it. All right, let's see. This is a big one. All right, and this one, it's not coming from the one. It's actually coming from Inside the Magic. New York governor says travelers from Florida could face $2,000 fines. On Monday, New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo announced an emergency health order demanding that all out-of-state travelers from Florida and 18 other states labeled high COVID states must provide contact information upon arrival or receive a summons and a $2,000 fine. You must give officials at the airport your forms as to where you came from and where you're going to be before you leave the airport, Cuomo said at a press conference. It will be enforced at every airport in the state of New York. Can't be in a situation where we have people from other states bringing the virus again. He added, it's that simple. So, I don't know. I know it's for safety and everything. I know it's for safety, but it's starting to get to the point where you're maybe violating constitutional liberties, because this isn't Germany. I don't need papers to go certain places in my country. I have freedom of movement in my country, and that's what makes us free. That's one of the things that makes us free. We are free to move about our country. I mean, I've heard, it may not have been this governor, but he's one of the governors there has actually said, if you believe this, then you don't need to come to New York. Well, who are you to tell me where I can and can't go? So, I mean, I can understand I can't go onto somebody's private property, but if it's public, I should be able to go. I understand what they're doing. I do. But to fine you for it, it just seems kind of, that seems a little bit crossing the line there. So, I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody. That's just how I feel about it. So, I think I may have lost some of my stuff. So, hopefully. All right, let's see. What else do we got? All right, so this is also from Inside the Magic. All right. Florida mayor says Disney parks are safe in Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World Resort began reopening the theme park last week, with Magic Kingdom and Disney Animal Kingdom having officially reopened on Saturday, and Epcot and Disney Hollywood Studios officially reopening this Wednesday. Today, Orange County Mayor Jerry Deming expressed his confidence in the Disney park's safety, noting that no COVID-19 cases have been associated with the theme parks. This is a quote from him. "I'm happy to say that given the theme parks that have opened prior to Disney, we have not been able to see any type of outbreaks specifically associated with any of those parks," Deming said. "So for me, if there's one place on planet Earth where we should be successful, it would be at Disney." I agree with him. I don't know who he is, but I agree with him. I think that's it. Oh, here we go. The mayor continued, "Disney has gone to great lengths to look at all of their various safeties and sanitary protocols, and they have instituted proper measures." I do believe that. Deming was also asked about Hong Kong Disneyland's decision to reclose the parks, and if the same could happen to Walt Disney World. The mayor stated that Orange County won't hesitate to ask Disney to reevaluate if any outbreaks are associated with Disney parks. So, yeah, that's one of the things I had coming up. I was going to look for it. If you give me a second, I'll try to get that back up. I accidentally dropped it. All right. There we go. But yeah. I don't know. I guess if they're, how do you prove that it came from the park? I guess that's one thing that's kind of hard to decide. But I mean, because you don't know if somebody showed up there with it, because you don't have symptoms for almost 2 weeks. And then there's people who show no signs at all that are carriers. So I guess it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, that's the whole reason for the face masks and being 6 feet away. And with the cleaning, even if there was an outbreak, I don't think it's going to be a big worry because how they're doing their cleaning. Yeah, I thought I had something on what was brought up. If I don't, we can talk about it real quick. Yeah, I don't see it in here. Maybe it was in here. But we can talk about that. I hadn't really heard much about it or read anything on the Hong Kong. And I'm not saying it's not has to do with the pandemic, the reason why they're shutting down. I'm sure it probably does. There may have been another outbreak there. But I think one thing that could be a possibility is there is a strain between the Chinese and the people of Hong Kong. And somewhat I have a feeling that might have something to do with it as well. So I'm just saying, things aren't going very well over there. So we're going to take a break from the Disney news. Let's go over here. Okay, well, I said we're going to take a break from the Disney news, but here we are. This is basically on Disney animated movies. So this comes from Looper. All right, the Moana fan theory that'll change how you watch it forever. Moana may have gone a lot farther than we even realized. Disney 2016 animated hit feature, as you might imagine, Moana, voiced by, I can't say her name, Alali. If anybody knows, I don't mean to butcher it. Carvalho, the daughter of a Polynesian village chief destined to become her island's new leader, who dreamed of voyage out beyond the reef. Since this is a story from Disney, a studio whose theme song is When You Wish Upon a Star, Moana ultimately gets what she wants, but it comes at a cost. The young island princess has to leave her home to save her people. There's a disease spreading across the land, wiping out sea and life and vegetation. So Moana heads out on a journey to find salvation. She heads out on a boat with her trusty chicken, Hehe. I don't know if he's trusty. At her side, and starts her journey first by seeking out assistance from the legendary demigod of the wind and sea, Maui. Seems like it has a very happy, very Disney ending, with Moana people saved and Moana herself returned home to lead, but this one fan theory has us reevaluate everything we thought we knew. So the theory that Moana is actually dead. Before Moana reached Maui's island, she's struck by a storm, her boat capsized, and all hope seemingly lost. Conveniently, Moana washes up on Maui's island, however, and the two serendipitously meet. After a little subterfuge on Maui's part, he and Moana eventually go on their quest to return to Fidi's heart and save the day. Sound familiar? It should. Moana's story is a twist on the classic hero journey popularized by classicist and comparative mythologist Joseph Campbell. But what if Moana's hero's journey isn't exactly what it seems? What if her hero's journey actually ended much more tragically than the film would have us believe? Over on a Reddit, user Dave Midrock hypothesizes that our heroine actually dies before she ever makes it to Maui's island. What if there's a barrier between the normal human world and the magical other world? He writes, where all things from Polynesian mythology are, and the only way to get to the other world is to be a part of it, for instance by being dead. The basic premise is that Moana dies in the shipwreck and enters the world of the supernatural. Once she's completed her quest in this kind of Polynesian underworld, Te Fiti both fixes Moana's boat and brings her back to life. Wow. So here's proof that Moana is actually dead. You might think this, Moana actually dead the whole time. Supposition, is a little bit too Sixth Sense. Consider this thought: Moana doesn't see any human persons in her entire quest until after it's over. The only people she encounters are Maui, monsters, gods, and her grandmother, who is dead. There are a lot of other elements which gives this theory weight. For example, Moana survives a huge drop from the top of a mountain where she then hangs out for a very long time underwater. Humans can't do that. And here's textual argument to be made. Dude, did you know that the draft of Moana's script, The Realm of Monsters, was actually referred to as the underworld? Wow. So I guess it does give you a different way to look at it. I never really thought of it that way. But I think that Moana is actually dead. Really different. Let's see other stuff down here that did look interesting to me. Oh, here we go. I'm going to bring this up as soon as I get a chance. So this is Funko Pop news. Disney Hocus Pocus Bill Butcherson Funko Pop figure has finally arrived, exclusive. So I'm going to show you a picture of that real quick. Let me pop that up real quick. Second. There you go. That's what he looks like. Disney's Hocus Pocus. Except for that jumped in. And it's not going on. So let's get back. Yeah, so Funko Pop. I don't really know that much about Hocus Pocus. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never seen it. I'd like to see it. I know it's on Disney Plus, but I'm one of those people who would rather wait until I'm not right. you didn't like the way of Moana, Candy Mom. I mean, I can understand it, but it's just a different way to look at it. So but yeah, the Funko Pop looks pretty good. I don't know who Billy Butcherson is. Maybe you guys do. I guess, like I said, I need to watch it. All right. Looking through, seeing if there's anything else, and then we'll return to some Disney news real quick. That she's dead? Is that what you're talking about? Candy Mom? So yeah, sorry, there's a delay on my side. So, well, I guess it's on your side. Well, it's a delay that's on here. So let's see. We're looking for some other things. Okay, here we go. Once again, this comes from WDW News Today. And new mask-free relaxation stations opens in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Welcome back to Disney Hollywood Studios. We are back in the glitz and glamour of the star-studded park during cast member preview ahead of the park's official reopening on Wednesday. Before we return, we found out that the park would be debuting new relaxation station areas where guests can visit to safely remove their mask and have a social distance sit down away from the busy hubbub of the attractions. We just found one of these zones over in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, so let's jet over and see what is new. The sun is hot in Batuu today, so having a place step away to remove those restrictive masks is much appreciative. We have already seen that these zones have been successful in both Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom earlier in the week, and imagine that having one in every popular Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is also going to be well received too. Relaxation station is located just past the entrance of Rise of the Resistance, just outside the entrance on the marketplace. Approaching the zone, we can see a few tables scattered at appropriate distances from one another. This area is covered, so some umbrellas have been added to provide a bit of shade. So I do know this. I know when VP was there that I don't know if he found all of the free zones, but there is one free zone that's actually inside there at the Magic Kingdom, and it's air conditioned. The other one's up at the Tomorrowland Terrace, which is partially air conditioning. So that's something the next time you get to go to actually look for, is for those mask-free zones that have air conditioning. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. They're gonna have a free zone right there in Galaxy's Edge. All right, so here we go. We got, so because the Hollywood Studios open up, let's see. We've got the new safety regulations for the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Debuts new health and safety updates at Disney's Hollywood Studios. All right, I don't know if you've been there to ride this ride. I haven't rode this ride, so I wouldn't even know what to me, if I walked in there, I'd figure this is a way to it's always be. Yeah, that's true, VP. But, you know, the thing is, I know you said it was hot. And probably if you were able to get to one of those areas where you could just take maybe 10, 15 minutes of a rest, it might have helped you out that day. So, I mean, and just been able to take the mask off and get cool air at the same time. Sometimes you're willing to go a little bit out of your way just for some air conditioning and be able to take that mask off. But so let's see, what are some of the new stuff they got going on here? As a reminder, FastPass Plus is temporarily suspended, meaning that all rides are standby only. Guests line up along the right side of the entrance with floor markers to help them remember to stand 6 feet apart. Of course, they show. Even throughout the extended queue, there are floor markings to help guide you. These are staggered and part of the queue with switchbacks to avoid having parties side by side. And it just looks the same as it does on every ride that they have these. Oh, really? I didn't see where the actual the full air conditioning was, but I do know that the Tomorrowland Terrace is the one that's opened with the open air conditioning. So I'd have to actually look into where that zone was. I'm sure I said it on here before, I just had forgotten. Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody seen any of the cast member previews for Epcot, or I think Corey Meets World was at Epcot today, but I'd really like to know what the wait time is for like the Runaway Railway. And then I think VP, you said they changed the way that they're doing the boarding for Rise of Resistance. Or Rise of the Resistance. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's back there at Pete's. That's right. But yeah, so yeah, it just looks like the same thing that they put on every other place. So let's see. I'm gonna find one more final piece, and then I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and end it. It gives me a little bit more time to get ready. So let's find something else. Maybe there's something else in here. We already covered that. All right. Okay, so here, we'll cover this just real quick. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Right, right. All right, so this is the China Pavilion reopens with only reflections of China, show, and kiosk, no cultural representative program cast members at Epcot. So I think we kind of knew that was going to happen. With Epcot approaching its official reopening date of July 15th, we're visiting during cast member preview days to get an idea of health and safety changes to the park. Much of World Showcase has been affected with barely any cultural representatives. Sorry. Staffing the pavilion, this was especially apparent in the Chinese pavilion, which despite reopening sat mostly closed with no restaurants or stores. Wow. That's kind of sad. Both Nine Dragons and Lotus Blossom Cafe are closed for long-time readers who know how much we legitimately love Nine Dragons. This is a loss. The pavilion's signature stop, the House of Good Fortune, was also closed. So it looks like, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, so it looks like the Chinese pavilion is completely closed, other than the show there, and that's kind of sad. One of the things we like to do when we go there is to actually just go and explore and look through the different cultures of those countries out there, and seeing that one's closed, it really upset. But that stuff's gonna happen right now with the way things are. So I think basically what it is what you're gonna be able to really find is. But you also got the Food Wine Festival coming up. So China Pavilion being closed, that might be a problem. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, so I think that's gonna finish it up right there. Think we got this. So like I said, this will be on Monday through Friday at 8:15 now, unless for some reason I have to have a schedule move. Oh, the pizza window wasn't open. Oh, in Italy? Wow. Yeah, that would upset my daughter. she wants me to go back there. Actually, when we had Gonzo on hanging with the family, him and Heaven talked about the pizza window. So, but okay, I got you. But yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get back to Walt Disney World. I really can't wait to get back. Being that we like to ride, this would really be good. But I also like just to go in and just absorb the atmosphere or the ambiance of the parks as well. So, but the whole thing is I think I would really miss not having the fireworks. So, but then again, you kind of gotta give up for something if you're gonna go during this time. But I think that's gonna be it. If you want to catch us here in just less than a half an hour, I'm gonna be on with Gonzo, and we're premiering our new live stream, Melody Mixes, where we are going to attempt to sing. So I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I don't see how it won't. So I hope all of you come and join us over there. I know he's gonna leave it open, so if anybody wants to come in and sing, they can always come in and sing. But I think that's gonna be it. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, I guess I could have went this week because I'm still not to work yet. But yeah, I'm really gonna have to see with the new job how it works out. I'm supposed to be hearing something about hopefully orientation before the end of the year. So, but that's gonna wrap things up. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:15, and hopefully have a lot more news. Hopefully some stuff that's just a little bit better news. I mean, there was some good news in there and some bad news, but I guess that's the way the news works. But yeah, so I want to tell you, have a good evening. If you don't, obviously join us over on Gonzo's. Once again, have a good evening. I hope to see you again tomorrow night at 8:15 for the evening show. And as for that, I'm out of here. So I hope to see you guys over on Gonzo's channel for Melody Mixes. I'll see you later.